I don't think talks like mine were scheduled in your congresses. This is where I am from, Antigua and Barbuda, two island state in the Eastern Caribbean, significant for a number of reasons. We're very small near Barbados, where one of your landmark studies, the Barbados Ice Study, was conducted several years ago, where some very staggering results came out before, not having been heard before in eyes of African origin. I don't have to repeat these statistics for you because I think you know them well already. Just suffice it to say that a very large number of eyes have open-angle glaucoma in the African origin population in the Caribbean. And as fate would have it, I just happened to have started my first job with the Barbados Eye Study back in 1989. And we frequently had the reading center at Stony Brook calling us, asking us please to check your data because the numbers they thought were being made up. Antigua has a very young population, so a very large number of people scheduled to get open-angle glaucoma unless we change our strategies. And you have heard all your science, all your wonderful science, all your wonderful medicine. All of it will go to waste if we don't get the patients empowered. The government of Antigua is trying its best with its resources. We have one hospital, quite a bit of equipment for a small island and a small population. And they're right now building satellite clinics in the rural areas, setting up refracting lanes and glaucoma testing in the villages. Glaucoma is one of the covered diseases under our medical benefits scheme. Medication is free if you're diagnosed with glaucoma, and doctor visits are subsidized. We have quite a high ratio of private practitioners, optometrists and ophthalmologists to the small population. 5 optometrists with private offices, 1 government employed and 2 ophthalmologists. So what then is the problem? And as you well know, you've heard today and for all your lives that over 50% of glaucoma sufferers are unaware that they have the disease. You know the reasons. It's asymptomatic, it's slowly progressive. Patients show up in the advanced stages of the disease. It's still not a consensus for a single screening test for glaucoma. Maybe on the horizon, but so far no. So what then is the answer? It clearly does not lie in science or in medicine for us to reduce those numbers. In Antigua and Barbuda, we believe it has to be advocacy. It has to be advocacy. And we believe that advocacy has to begin and end with awareness. We believe that government leaders and policymakers must understand the issues involved. So you have to start spending some of your time doing this stuff. We believe that the populations must accept the ideas and must understand for things to change, and we believe very, very strongly that very little things can make a very, very big difference. We have a sort of 4-pronged approach in my glaucoma support group. We engage the leaders, we inform the people, propagate the message, and we mobilize the people to participate. None of this is really new in advocacy movements, but we believe how we weave an impenetrable web is the way I put it. This is our Governor General. We start at the top, and we engage her to our cause. We invite her to cocktail parties, we invite her to our lectures, we take her outside. You will recognize the Queen's Baton Relay in 2010, if most of you would remember. The baton started here and then traveled to all other 10 Commonwealth countries. Well, I can bet you that none of you knew that happened on World Glaucoma Day. But I did. And so I got the Governor General to agree to let us run with her the first leg of the Queen's Baton Relay. We're engaging the leaders. The gentleman on the left here is your representative from India that brought the baton down. I have the president of the Lions Club running that leg also. That was a very coveted spot because the leader of the opposition, who is this gentleman right here, wanted to run the first leg. And when we got to run it before him, I'm showing you, I engaged the leaders, I informed them. The baton had a GPS monitoring system inside there, and images from what was happening were relayed around the world. I don't know if any of you saw those images here in India. I engaged the Prime Minister time and time again. He's one of our greatest supporters. He leads our marches every year for glaucoma. We share the same birthday in October. So every October I call to tell him happy birthday, and could you please mark your diary for March the 10th or March the 12th, which will be World Glaucoma Day next year. And this is a very favorite picture of mine because this was 3 days before general elections, and the Prime Minister is holding our banner 3 days before. He does have his cell phone to his ear, still trying to rally his votes, and incidentally he did get back into power. I promised him that if he led this march, it would be his PR event, and it worked in his favor. We engage any leader that we can find, the scientific community. We certainly did not create World Glaucoma Week in Antigua, but we certainly jumped on board with extreme enthusiasm. We engage our business leaders. We got American Airlines to send these banners to Haiti right after the earthquake so that they could also celebrate World Glaucoma Week. These are more business leaders. We engage our market vendors. This chap is the one that sells the most turmeric in Antigua, and he is a member by invitation of my glaucoma support group. Even Haiti got on the bandwagon when they had no houses to live in. They celebrated World Glaucoma Week underneath tents with the banners that American Airlines had helped me ship to Haiti with all the other medical and relief supplies. The S-word, screening. You heard it all day that there really is no single screening test for glaucoma. So what we have set out to do is to engage the population is what is called glaucoma risk factor screening. So we don't screen for glaucoma, we screen for your risk factors. We do a lot more questioning and talking than actually testing. Yes, we do tonometry, and yes, we do visual fields, but annually and several times a year we engage the population in huge glaucoma risk factor screenings so that the population understands, why are you not testing me for glaucoma only? Why are you testing me for my risks for glaucoma? And we talk, as while we test, we talk. While we test, we talk. While we test, we question. We try to explain why do you need to know your BMI if we're testing you for glaucoma, and we make sure the Prime Minister is involved in every step of the way because we do the testing, most of it in his constituency, so we have his presence daily. His constituents love this, and if you don't come into us, we go out to you, and so we do this testing in the famous favorite watering holes, we call them in Antigua, in our rum shops and in our parks. We do engaging and mobilizing through street signs, through sports, and a lot of you will understand what I mean by cricket being a religion, because it is a religion in your country as much as it is in mine. And I solicited the West Indies Cricket Board way back in 2010 to do one of the perimeter banners for World Glaucoma Day, because World Glaucoma Day also fell on the same day of one of the test matches. And so instead of seeing Digicel when the ball heads for the boundary, you saw the sneak thief of sight. And a lot of you recognize this face, Sir Isaac Alexander Richards, one of our famous heroes, has lent his name and his persona to glaucoma awareness in Antigua. And he will be leading, as long as he's not elsewhere, will be leading our marches for us for the future. I think this is one of your heroes here on the left with him. I don't remember his name, but most of you may. We did World Glaucoma Day stamp issues. We had to solicit the cabinet and the government to give us permission to release a commemorative issue. So we once again engaged the leaders, informed them, mobilized the public. These are my patients on these stamps, and nothing mobilizes people more than to recognize their faces on a postage stamp. We mobilize through our churches, we mobilize through our state, the police, the people. The people have the power to make the change. And until we understand that, your science and your medicine will not be fully in vain, but will not be as effective as you wish. The Anti-Barbuda Glaucoma Support Group is an extremely small group, but affiliated with many, many and growing organizations. We really believe that it's possible to do a lot with a little. We have no money. We believe that small, close-knit groups have the power to magnify that epidemic potential of a message or an idea. There's the same message that you're trying so hard to get across. Early detection, lifelong treatments are the only keys to halting the irreversible blindness. Increasing public awareness is urgently needed. We believe that small patient support groups are the answer. They're the impetus for the change that is needed. We really do believe that the people have the power to make the change. Thank you.